Well, welcome to you, wherever you are. Welcome to St Mary's, Shalford, here in the blustery vicarage garden, as we join others this morning in their homes and gardens, continuing in our home-based lives. Thanks to Katrina, our ordinand here at St Mary's in training for priesthood, who will lead us in prayer today. And thanks to Sue, who so beautifully reads today's Gospel passage for us. Gospel passage which draws us out to reflect on our journey of life as pilgrim disciples, to reflect on our inner and outward lives, stumbling, tripping, falling, getting up again, running, wandering through all the twists and turns of life, rejections and rejoicing of life, stepping onward on our pilgrim paths as disciples, as learners, in faith. Do listen to Bishop Joe's sermon today or sometime this week. You'll find this on Guildford Diocese YouTube channel and at the end of our worship this morning, and via this week's St Mary's e-newsletter, which you should receive via email. And if you don't receive this and would like to, just weekly or less sometimes even, wherever you are in the world, do just email me and I'll be overjoyed to add you to the growing recipients list to stay in touch. If you're the local postman or any local postman, I'd particularly recommend you don't miss Bishop Joe's message this week as you journey on. And Bishop Joe encourages us on as disciples who shake. Hasn't this been a time when holding on and carrying on has been hard and we've needed encouragement? When we've been called to have the courage to simply stay faithful to God, to others, to ourselves. If you, like me, have been trying to introduce a new habit of fitness or stillness, or maybe neighbourliness into your daily rhythm of life, you probably share with me the frustrations of how long it takes to get, for example, a simple regular jog around the block to become a natural, joyful habit. Whether jogging never can be a joyful, natural habit, I don't know, but I'm still exploring that possibility. Apparently it's about 3 months of faithful effort and unavoidable reminders before our minds and bodies slip more easily into a new habit as a natural part of our daily life. Introducing new life-giving rhythms in daily life takes faith in life. And what faithfulness in the extraordinariness of the gift of life and love is shown by those who've spent months or weeks in hospital on ventilation, as well as those who've cared for them, who we watch making their frail yet oh so courageous walk out of ICU, down the long corridor to the outside world, through those lines of applauding nurses and doctors and staff at hospital. We give a very special St Mary's thanks to God today for Joanna's safe return home here. It's such a joy to know you're home at last, Joanna, with your family in Shalford. Joanna and her family's courage and faithfulness encourage us and inspire us, and so many like them who go through heart-wrenching illness and struggle, clinging on in faith and love. And we continue to pray for all in any sickness or injury struggling for life at this time, and for all struggling in love, not able to be by their side. Life is extraordinary. The gift of life is extraordinary. God is extraordinary. We can't go back to any ordinary or normal of life or church or discipleship. A week tomorrow, on Monday the 22nd, if all the sanitisers and signs and other safety measures are in place to ensure we can care for everybody's safety, we'll reopen St Mary's Church building for private prayer and for space for peace and sanctuary. But this isn't a first step to going back to the past. This isn't even a first step to any new normal. This is a new step on our path as the transforming, inclusive church for all. God doesn't call us to a more restricted new normal, but to new extraordinary life, transformed. To life in faith and hope as pilgrim disciples, following in the footsteps of Christ in love, in our individual lives, as faithful disciples in community, as the God of love's extraordinary church. There's surely no new normal where God is concerned, but another step as pilgrim disciples, journeying on in faith in the extraordinariness of life, of love, of God. Weaving through today's worship, you'll see this extraordinary tapestry which hangs on the south wall of St Mary's Church. From when I was a child worshipping at St Mary's, or probably more accurately described, messing around in the well of the pews, this picture of the pilgrim walking on the way in faith has stayed with me. Today in our worship we can also recall the dedication of all the members of Shalford WI who faithfully stitched this new creation for the church in 1938, celebrating John Bunyan's hymn and the Pilgrim's Progress, and celebrating pilgrim discipleship all around us now when we look attentively, when we notice examples of faith in the extraordinariness of life, encouraging us on. And today we especially celebrate one much-loved Shalford resident in the family of St Mary's, and a truly inspiring faithful disciple. It's a joy to welcome Stanley to preach for us today from his garden as we celebrate with him on the 65th anniversary of his ordination to the priesthood, his lifetime of dedicated loving service to others and to God. All this, of course, calls for cake, a famous ginger cake baked with her habit of kind generosity by Sue, which in these restricted times, of course, has to be eaten only by me. But it's a cake aflame with candles as we celebrate the light Stanley's faithful ministry has brought to so many. So thank you, Stanley. I'll blow all those out later. Just finally, notice of two small new St Mary's ways to celebrate life together. Today, thanks to the Roberts family, we've added the second story in our special new YouTube St Mary's Storytime channel. This is for you if you're a toddler seeking a little story to lull you to sleep, or if you are a weary adult too. And if you'd like to contribute a story to our new little library online, that would be just great. So do just let me know if you'd like to, or just send one in if you've got one. Finally, in a couple of weeks, we'll trial St Mary's midweek worship on Zoom with a short service of Holy Communion, which all can join in online live or at any time afterwards. More details about all that next Sunday anyway. But now let's come together to worship God this day as we join in our opening prayer together. So let us pray. God of our pilgrimage, be the fire leading us, be the star guiding us, be the good shepherd calling us. May your Spirit strengthen us as we journey on our pilgrim path with you in faith. Amen. So now Liz leads us in that pilgrim hymn, our opening hymn, He Who Would Valiant Be.